Next Kina on page 78, there's Novi Chatosi Ishmima. This Kina speaks about the son and daughter of a Rishmil Kohen Gadol that were captured. They put them in a room, get children from them, and they discovered that they were brother and sister in the morning. Next place where the Shechinah can be felt in this world is the Jewish home. Ish ve'isha Shechinah shruya b'neihem. And that was specifically in the Mikdash, Mibein Shnei Akruvim, that's where the Shechinah was. And according to some, the Kruvim, one was male and one was female, representing a husband and wife. And the face of the Kruvim was the face of children. So you have a whole mishpacha, husband, wife, and children, and that's where the Shechinah was in the Mikdash, in the Jewish home. And that's what it says, Ish v'isha, the Ish has the Yud, the Isha, the Hey. The Yud is representative of Olam Haba, and the Hey of Olam Hazeh. The husband provides the Olam Haba aspect of the family, and the wife takes care of the Olam Hazeh. In addition, the Hey represents the Hoya of Shem Hashem, the past, and the Yud, the future, the Yihiyeh. The husband builds the future, and the wife anchors it to the past, to Mesorah, to the Yisodos of a home. And the Yud and the Hey are joined with the Vav, Ish ve'isha Shechinah shruya b'neihem. And they're together. Then there's the present also. The Medrash says, L'mishpechoseim yotzu min ha'teva. They left Noach's teva by family. Mikan sheyotzu mi beis hakneses mishpachos. From here we learn that when you leave shul, you should leave by family. Families should leave together. Simple meaning, the teva means Noach's boat, but in the Mishnah, the teva was the Aron Kodesh. In English, the connection is still there. Noah's Ark and the Holy Ark. They're both arks. So when you leave the ark, you leave by family. So when they left Noah's Ark, they left by family. When you leave the ark, you leave the Aron HaKodesh, you leave by family. What does it mean? We live in a world where we are inundated with rishus. There's evil and negative influences all over. The Miri says that the rishus of this world is like a yam, and the way to escape it is like a boat. You can't run away from the world. You can't. There's no place in the world where that yam doesn't exist. But you can get in a boat and keep the yam out by making that boat watertight, that no water can come in. What are those tevos? Batei knesios, batei midrashos, seminaries, kehilos. They are the tevos that keep the mayim hazedonim, the flood waters out. But you can't stay in a shul your whole life. I know it's beginning to feel like that, but in any case. You can't stay in a yeshiva your whole life. You can't stay in a seminary your whole life. So how do you leave and still be protected? That's what the Medrash says. L'mishpechoseihem yotzu min ha'teva. If you want to be able to leave the teva, you have to have a lifeboat. And if the lifeboat has the same standards and values as the teva, then it also can be watertight. That's the family. That's a Jewish home. The Jewish home is the lifeboat that enables you to be able to leave the shul and the yeshiva and the seminary and still be protected. And that's why we start davening every day with Matovu Alecha Yaakov, to combine and connect the home with the shul. Because Chazal Darshan Matovu Alecha goes on the home, on the Jewish home. She'ein pischeim mechuvono ze lo zeh, and it also goes on Batei Knesios and Batei Midrashos. They have to be connected. And in Yiddishkeit, everything starts with the home. We don't have a Knesses, a Medrash, a Sefer. We have a Beis HaKnesses and a Beis HaSefer and a Beis HaMedrash. It all starts with the home. And if the home is a proper home, then the Knesses, the Beis HaKnesses can make an impact. And the Beis HaMedrash and the Beis HaSefer. But if you don't have a proper home, then all those institutions are basically irrelevant. A Jewish home is supposed to engender Kedusha. It's supposed to create Achdus and unite all the people inside. It's a proving grounds. It's a small model of society where everybody learns their responsibilities, how to accept authority, how to give authority, how to deal with siblings. There's so many different attachments. That's why mishpacha has a connection to the word nispach. Modern Hebrew, and nispach is an attachment. But sapachas, nispach, means something attached to something else. In a family, people will learn their attachments, their relationships. And that's the place where people learn how to have those same relationships in the larger society. It also affords protection, security, comfort. And when you have a home that has all of those things, it's a secure home. It's a home where people learn what comfort is supposed to be and how it's supposed to be used properly. And it protects the people inside from physical and spiritual dangers of the outside. In that home, you can open the door and let that light of that home light up a whole world. What is the underpinnings, the foundations of a home, of a family? There's a famous movie years ago that said that love is never having to say you're sorry. And to a certain degree it's true. Famous Meiser of Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, that it's customary to ask mechila from a relative at the Levaya. When his wife was nifter, he didn't ask mechila. He said, I have nothing to ask mechila on for our entire years and years of marriage. They say that before he would enter his house, he would get his clothing in order. And when asked why, he said, because I'm going to see the Shechinah. He asked him, what does that mean? He means my wife. Ish v'isha Shechinah shruya beinehem. When I go to see my wife, the Shechinah is there. And I have to look and appear properly in front of the Shechinah. When you understand that your spouse is the repository of Shechinah, then you have nothing to ask mechila for. But most of us are not like that, unfortunately. So I would amend that and say that love is knowing when to say you're sorry and how to say you're sorry. I saw a Peledig Maisa with Rav Aryeh Levine. Rav Aryeh was penniless at the time of his marriage. His parents were overseas and unable to help out financially, and as a new immigrant, he had not yet found a source of livelihood. Although they had the simplest of weddings, the impoverished Jews of Yerushalayim were hard-pressed to survive. They certainly didn't aspire to pretentious standards. It was still customary for the chassan to present his kala with a small gift in the yichud room. Rav Aryeh, however, lacked the wherewithal to purchase even a nominal present for his bride. So he made a unique offer instead. Anytime we have even the smallest disagreement, Rav Aryeh declared, I will yield to you. The kala was so touched by his proposition that she promised Rav Aryeh that she in return would do the same for him. That's how to build a Jewish family. Vita. People are willing not to stand on principle. Husbands willing to be mevater to his wife, and a wife to her husband, and children to their parents, and parents to children. When you learn how to be mevater, you create the foundation of a family. What is proper relationship between a husband and wife? Each one has to respect the other. Kavod. Kavod doesn't mean buying presents necessarily. It means appreciating who the other one is and what's important to them. Ava, not being overbearing, not having ema yisera. That's how you build a Jewish home, and that's how you see the Shechinah in a Jewish home. It says the first samach in Seder Bereshis is in the word Vayizkor Bosor Tachtena. There's no samach before that in Parshas Bereshis. Some say that the samach represents protection. So the first completely closed letter. Samach and Mem in the Luchos stood benes because they're closed letters. The middle part had to be suspended against gravity. So the first samach, protection, that's what a husband and wife are. It's just like the kala walks around the chosim. Each one is a protection, a choma, a wall. That's the wall of the Jewish home. But I think differently. The samach is, if you take two nuns and you put them face to face, you get a samach. Nun represents nefila. People can't do it on their own. Every person is only a half a person. Every person needs support from someone else. The ikar support is between a husband and wife. So when you have two noflim and they face each other and they unite, then they create a samach. That is the first samach in the bria. When the two noflim, or the two that are imperfect, join together to become perfect. So I was thinking, if that's the case, then why couldn't it be the first mem? Why the first samach? But it's only a mem sofis, it's the end mem. The end mem, the Gemara says, represents maimer sosu, where you have the last word. If you're looking for the last word, forget it, that's not a marriage. So it can't be a mem sosu. It only can be a samach, where a person understands that he's inadequate and imperfect, and his wife is inadequate and imperfect, and only together they can create that wall that creates the wall of the Jewish home. A person should value his home, value his children, spend time with his children. Let them feel the Shechinah that exists in a Jewish home. And if we appreciate the Shechinah that comes from a family that's functioning properly, husband, wife, children, each one knowing their place and their role and fulfilling it properly. And Amir Hashem, if we feel the Shechinah within our homes, Amir Hashem will be able to feel the Shechinah that will emanate from the Bayis HaGodol VaHaKadosh Shenikra Shimcha and HaRav your name.